Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird. Happy Friday and welcome to the Pagan Housewife. We've been focusing on the gardening all this month, and today we're going to talk a little bit about flowers and foliage. So this week we are moving away from the more practical, the more nitty-gritty aspects of the magical garden, and we are turning our focus to the ornamental. Flowers, trees, shrubs, these all beautify the home landscape, and when planted with intention, can attract the kind of energy we want to have around us, and possibly even become a shield in and of itself if we do our work right. So with all gardens, first we have to choose a structure, and there are many established styles of gardens, and experimentation continues on at a wild pace. The amount of inspiration you can find with a simple internet search is an embarrassment of riches. However, the sheer number of ideas can complicate and overwhelm. So by focusing on the realities of your own situation, that can be refreshing. It jumpstarts the process of elimination and hopefully makes it a little bit more manageable of a task. So first, how much space do you have available for the ornamental garden? And then, how much time do you actually have to devote to maintenance? Not how much you imagine you would have or wish that you had. What is the actual reality? You'll be much happier if you face that from the word go. Third, is your home formal or informal? The style of garden should harmonize with the personality of the building and with the overall decor. Does your home have a specific architectural type? Certain forms of gardens might complement it more than others. Consider how much sun and shade you get, as well as whether or not the soil drains well and the richness of the soil. Choose plants that are predisposed to thrive in the conditions you have. This will save you a great deal of wear and tear on your nerves. And then, what colors do you actually like, and especially like? Building an overall scheme around them, it should be a pleasure for your eyes to behold, so don't work with colors that don't appeal with you. Unless, of course, you are inheriting plants and you're wanting to use them, then you might have to finagle a little bit. But if you are starting over from scratch especially, don't choose a plant that you don't love. There's just no sense to it. Now, whatever style and colors you choose, you'll probably want to have a variation of heights with the plants. Otherwise, you'll just have this flat, boring line, and the whole effect will feel off. However, if you incorporate, trees and shrubs amongst the flowers, that'll provide interest and rhythm to the garden as a whole. Now, when is a flower bed more than just a pretty face? That really resides with our intentions that aren't necessarily visible to an outside observer. A visitor might pick up that there's a certain ambiance when they're looking at their gardens, but it won't necessarily be obvious to them why they're reacting the way that they are. What is it that's giving it that atmosphere? If our primary deity is associated with particular plants, we might build a garden around their preferences to honor them, provided, of course, that we have conditions that are suitable for them. Practicality still holds sway over meaningful gestures. And we might choose to build a garden around a specific magical intention and then continue to cultivate it to amplify those energies as much as possible. And in that vein, planting with intention, I wanted to draw attention to just 5 different ideas and a couple of plants to go along with that, to just get your brain started and think about what is it that you're wanting from your garden, and the fact that you might have plants that are available in your area that aren't too expensive that can help attract the energies that you want. So beginning with protection, because of course there's a lot of reasons why we would want to protect our homes and everyone within it. For trees that are associated with protection, think birch, cedar, hawthorn, oak, and walnut. Most places in North America those are going to grow perfectly fine. And for flowers, anemones, daisies, foxglove, primrose, violets, these are known to have protective energies. But what if you want to create a garden that's really centered on family and strengthening those bonds? For trees, you might go to the hawthorn and rowan. And for flowers, you might think morning glories and roses. Now, of course, this is obviously not enough to build an entire garden around, but it's a starting point. And if you have those be the key features, that's going to be the dominant energy present. Another intention we could build around would be happiness. For your trees, cypress, hawthorn, mimosa. I have a very soft spot for mimosas. I like it when they bloom, and it's just this little feathery little pink fairy dusted effect on it, and it's so cute. And if you're fond of the color pink, mimosas are definitely a tree you should look into to see if it'll grow well where you live. And then for flowers associated with happiness, honeysuckle, lily of the valley, and roses. If you have a shady area, lilies of the valley are especially good because they like a little bit of shade, they like a little bit of dark and damp. So if you're having a troublesome spot or your house faces north, this could be a handy dandy flower for you. Another intention we might want around the home is abundance. Trees, perhaps a chestnut, maples, sycamores. I love those trees. And for flowers, perhaps bluebell and honeysuckle. You have some options there. And then, what if we're just wanting to have an atmosphere conducive to wisdom? There's a very short supply of wisdom everywhere we turn these days, so it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to cultivate an atmosphere that is seeking wisdom in the home. But for trees, you could rely upon the birch, the hazel, and the maple, and for flowers, hyacinth, irises, and roses. These are just a couple of ideas. Now, in or out of the broom closet, the ornamental garden is a place where we can express ourselves and cultivate magical intentions discreetly. Barring lawn ornaments that sport pentacles that would actively advertise that it's a pagan household, we can do a great deal that makes it a very beautiful and a very magical garden without being censored by anyone or having to worry that someone might take against the household just because we are openly practicing our faith. So these are a few ideas for you to turn your mind over. I would love to hear your thoughts either in the comments section below or over on Discord at Blackbird's Brew. If you haven't already joined us, there is a link below that'll take you right to us. It's a very easy process. There's no charge involved. You are very welcoming, and especially if you're sharing plants of your gardens and sharing your experiences, I think you'll find a lot of welcoming, friendly faces. So I think that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.